2, 1. We're live. We're live, folks. Welcome to another star-studded YouTube live stream here. I can't speak right now. I'm on my own channel, and we're doing Friday Night Tech Talk right now with 3, and the fourth one is I would not put it past him. He will at least jump in for a little bit. He is working. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the show. Welcome, George.
Yep.
How you doing? And we'll start with George, and we'll work our way to Ted. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well.
Good. Ted, what are you up to? Hey, Ted, are we scratchy now? We got the audio.
Ted's messing with his lighting. He's just being Ted. You know.
I have to say, I was just when you were back there. Now you put that light in the back, and you got that bokeh thing going. My goodness, I am jealous. I can't say
you know
enough.
what he
That
said to
camera
himself, don't you? He said lighten up, Ted.
Oh, when Mike asks for stars, you give him stars.
Everybody is a star.
So, I wanted to kind of go. My thing was, we got a small amount of topics, and I want to try and do a show, but not be quick about it, but yet not to be lengthy. So
yeah.
So
let me say I did make a show note. So if you go to mobilegeezer.wordpress.com, click on the first story. That's tonight's show notes.
Yes. And then we're not going to read everything here, but we're just going to cover some of the basics and discuss some of the things that are coming up in well, first off, I should have titled the show Pat, or I don't know if I made mention of it in the description, but passwords goodbye, show notes passwords goodbye, pass keys hello. I want to also let me acknowledge everybody in here. Miss E's in here, thank you. Renz, and we see here Eleanor is in here, and some guy named George Hayes is in here too.
Yeah, Eleanor was first today too.
Yes, and I actually reached out to 6, because normally 6 is the guy who grabs that. Remember back in the day, he would grab that.
He was always the first one.
Always here, the first one.
Then it became Nigel for a while. Now it's Eleanor every week.
Yeah. So I know I see once in a while on my on Instagram. My wife follows 6. I probably did that long ago, and my man's working out. He's always showing
big time every day.
Yep. So
I noticed when he put one up yesterday, I'm like, boy, you can really see the difference in the muscle on him.
Yes. So apparently in a recent article from Google 9 to 5 Google, I really can talk tonight, and I didn't drink no beer, by the way. Apparently there's something going on in the I got this camera. I got to watch what I'm doing. Hold on a sec. I can't read this and have this in my way.
Now, in the notes, I put the Apple one first from CNET, and then I put the Google one, but whichever way you want to go.
The Google one would grab me.
Okay.
And let me get this right. Okay. See, everybody can see my door now. That's okay. Anyway.
Yeah, you don't want to be a dork.
Oh, okay. Android ready support for password replacement, passkeys that sync to your Google account, and basically what's going on here is they're trying to eliminate passwords. This is where I want to open up the floor and say I would think if you had time to read the stories.
I read the stories.
Yeah. What are your initial thoughts of the story and what's going to happen here?
Well, between what Apple and Google are both doing it, and they seem to be, working together, I think it sounds like a very good idea, because it sounds like you'll have a main login password, but after that, according to the stories, for every app, it'll go there automatically, and you won't have to do anything once it recognizes your face or your fingerprint. Am I right?
Yeah, and I see why you did that, because I did put the Apple part in there first, and I apologize. I was more hyper-focusing on some of the things I listened to a podcast and reading under the Google thing. But apparently, again, I'm going to be critical, and I ain't going to pull no punches. Seems like Google's a little late to the game. Seems like
Well, Apple was a year ahead because Apple's story
had
came out last June.
right. Yes, yes, and that was one of the big things that I learned. And I'm going to just read this blurb here. If successful adoption, sign in to a web service will no longer involve entering a password. This includes those that are auto-filled, which is a commonplace behavior of password managers built into today's browsers and operating systems. Rather, the FIDO, now FIDO is a particular organization, and let me find the proper...
What is that? Fast Identity Online Alliance.
There you
Thank
go.
you. Thank you.
The youngest one is the quickest one.
Yeah, they do. Yes. I think it's actually a woman who made it, created the alliance too. They're all about hardware keys. If you want that extra layer of security.
Got you.
See, I got one too.
So
one of the best ones is these ones right here, the UBCO.
How do I get? Wait a minute.
These are the best, FIDO hardware authentication keys for you if you want the extra layer of passwords.
Yep.
Hey, Gary, how you doing? Welcome
to
the
what's
show.
Up,
yes,
Gary?
Everyone, your buddy Will, he will be joining us tonight. So getting back to what I was blurbing out there, during registration with an online service, the user client receives a new key and it retains the private key and registers the public key with an online service. Authentication is done by a client by the client device providing possession of the private key to the service by signing a challenge. Now, I know myself, I've dealt, and this is it's going to eventually we'll get to my other I listed everything like 1, 2, 3, 4, but we had a 1 and a 1A. Recently, I have been dealing with Google Authenticator as an app. Have you guys ever played with any of them by chance?
No.
Authentication apps? Yeah. Well, yeah, not George. He's out of he's retired, enjoying easy living with the rental agencies. But
I've actually played with a couple, but it's been a long time.
Yeah, well, I think that's going to be probably the norm on some things, and I wonder though how they're going to.
I use Microsoft a lot.
Yeah,
and they work pretty good too. And also, YubiKey for those apps, like Twitter and whatnot. Twitch that forces you to use an authenticator app.
Oh, see, I've never been on Twitch.
Yeah, if you want to use a second layer, like two-factor authentication, but instead of using SMS, people recommend that you don't use SMS for two-factor. They recommend you use a password and then any FIDO passkey or hardware key back there.
Right, and didn't the Apple story say that one of the things Apple was saying that is they're trying to get rid of using two-factor once you have this?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get rid of
the same level of it's not more security, it's the same level really then.
It sounds better to me. That could just be an impression I have. Gary says he's got his security key from Google.
Yeah, and it seems like it's slowly rolling out to me, because I've just recently dealt with more of this Google authentication app I've had to use, and two-factor 2FA, we'll call it to make it easy for me. Right. But don't you guys feel what's some of the down? Well, before I get to the downside, what I
look at Miss E's comment as far as downside.
Let's see. There we go.
Yeah,
SMS it can be spoofed easily, and that's why we got the authentication apps,
right?
Like Microsoft and Google, are becoming more prominent. I think. Do you think about though where it used to be a password, and you would create a password for? I'll just pick Netflix. Let me just pick Netflix out of this, okay? And then if you want to go and you then need, let's say us nerds, then there's also people out there that I've come across people have iPads and people have an Android phone. And then again, now you have also Amazon too. Are they up to speed on this? I didn't
you
see
would
Amazon
think they would jump in. You would think.
Right. You would think.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about Amazon as in like getting a Fire tablet and using, of course, the games and content, watching movies or reading, Audible books and stuff like that.
Right.
But what I'm saying is they're trying to cut down the amount of passwords that are generated. Yet, though, I think this is still, you're not going to eliminate a lot of passwords. You're going to eliminate some because your key is to the platform that you're on.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
the hardware, basically.
There was some conversation in my reading about this stuff, and I'll say this: do you feel this is a little bit of a lock-in to the platform?
No, because it's tied to the hardware more than the platform. Am I wrong, Ted?
Unless there's a way Apple lets you export.
It's really to the account.
Export those authentications outside if you're not using an iPhone. Kind of does seem like a lock-in.
Okay.
So you see what the comment did come up about being potentially a lock-in situation,
right?
Because that's what I mean, though. Each platform will need its own key. Okay. So you can watch Netflix on all three of that I just mentioned. So you ain't have to worry about getting a key for all three. Are you guys good with passwords? I'm going to tell you, I'm horrible. Every time I go and mess with my account for some reason, I'm getting like these. You got 33. I know on this account I have 33 compromised passwords. I don't have time to go mess with that stuff.
Yeah, I don't either. But I will see, what I do is I keep my passwords.
What is that? IHaveBeenPwned.com?
What.com?
I have been pawned.
I have been pawned.
Oh.
What's that?
I thought that was the website you were talking about that gives you the number of sites that are compromised.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The password.
I remember I typed in last year once to that.
Hold on, let me.
What were you talking about then?
Is this who I think this is?
What's going on?
Yeah, there he is.
Hey,
there he is.
How you doing,
What's
Will?
going on, fellas?
Now
Up, dude?
the quintet, is it quintet for four? Am I
Quintet?
saying?
Yes.
The
no,
quintet
no,
is
quartet.
Quartet. Wait a minute, better yet, Avengers Assemble. There you go.
There we go.
Something like that.
That's
so
good.
what's going
Captain
on, Will?
America's my favorite.
Not much. Mike, I was so crazy this last week. I forgot. Like, I was so confused. You don't even know.
Oh,
I
come
thought
on,
today,
man.
No, listen. I thought today was for the one that's later. I was all confused. You have no idea.
Oh, my God.
When you text me today, I'm like, wait a minute. I thought that wasn't until...
When?
No, Will,
Yeah,
it's
no.
not. It's not June yet, Will.
Yeah. I was all confused.
Do we want to announce that here, George, or we want to keep
Sure,
that?
you can.
Well, do you want to announce it or do you want me?
No, I'll let you announce it.
Okay. Through conversations, we're going to have the three of us up here. Mobile Geezer George Hayes is going to come up to Jersey, and we're going to do a show from my brother's place, like we did, 3 years ago?
Just like we did almost 3 years ago. We did the same thing. It'll be next week. It'll be 3 years since the last time we did it.
Yep. So we're going to all meet. And it sounds like, George, you got a little time on your hands. Not like you were. I appreciate you. Seemed like you had other things going on. You couldn't really spend a lot of time. So maybe we can do some other crazy things in video and share our experiences.
Oh, yeah. And I'm kind of counting on the breakfast on Saturday that you said.
Yeah. It sounds good. So.
Oh, I'm gonna have to miss
look what Elno said. Will sent the message to Will. Will is working,
Yeah, I'm at work. Mike, you know what? So you should have told me about this a couple days ago.
Oh, come on, man.
Yeah,
You're getting old with me.
I
You
can't
can
Will, you're the young one. You're the one supposed to be the one with the memory here.
Yo,
No, Mike didn't tell
Will.
me about the breakfast. Yeah,
Well,
I
I know
can't get
you'll be
off
at your
now.
new job.
Yeah,
I'm
I can't
sorry.
get off. Yeah, it's all right. You still owe me a burger.
I
You
know
know,
I
I'm
do.
free.
You
I'm
still
free all
haven't
week.
I
given
know
him
you're
that
free.
burger?
No, look. I feel like I'm feeling again that like work is becoming a little bit. I've been getting home or leaving work no later than 6. I've been leaving earlier than that. I've been coming home at a decent hour. And Will has his life back, right? Will?
Not yet. Soon.
Oh, what do you mean? Oh, yeah, I know.
Countdown is on.
The
Well, if
countdown is
well,
on.
well, we'll know you have your life back if you show up for breakfast on Saturday.
nah, I don't have that part of it back. Jim.
That's Saturday the 11th
Yeah, I don't know. That's
of
gonna be
June,
tough.
not May, June.
I'll see what I can do. But
Eleanor, I can do that. Eleanor said bring her some Jersey food. That I can do.
Got it.
all right.
So, Will, we were talking about passwords and passkeys, and it seems like Google is about to jump on finally the passkey train versus passwords.
But Will, you'll like the fact that Apple was like what 11 months ahead of Google on this.
With what? Hold on.
Oh my God!
So,
I don't believe
Listen,
this.
no.
I'm gonna. You're
You're
done.
saying
You're chopped meat
So
now.
wait, listen. So I'm confused because I don't be reading this stuff anymore. After I went Apple, I went all the way out of So
So you didn't even read the show, the notes that Mike
So-
sent?
He sure did. He drank
so
that.
wait.
Drank that
So
apple
listen.
He
juice.
drank. Yeah, I know.
So what are they doing? Is this supposed to be
Ted,
like
constant
iCloud
IV.
keychain? Is this like keychain?
Yeah,
trying
it's
to
like
understand.
keychain.
So Apple was like a long time ahead. 'Cause
Yeah,
keychain's
very
out
much
for a
so.
minute. Not 11
But
months.
it
was
seems
years.
like it's standard. Hold on, it's a
Well,
standard.
the article Mike
It's a
said
standard.
was from last June. Sorry, Mike.
That's fine. That's
okay.
fine. So I'll read. Wait a minute. And I'll read now the part it says here from who was it? CNET. Yeah, from CNET.
Okay.
It says passkeys get around both problems. Apple says everyone already carries their phone, face, and finger. I hope they're carrying their face and finger.
Yeah, right.
That would be impressive if you don't. Accounts can be recovered through Apple iCloud keychain if a user device are lost, damaged, or stolen. It's not yet clear how passkeys would work beyond Apple devices. Apple encrypts iCloud keychain data and reconstruction it without a device can require a previous used password. Apple doesn't see passkeys as a two-factor authentication, a strong login protection approach that commonly pairs passwords with other authentication steps like bioscan. But the company believes passkeys are strong enough to reduce the need for two-factor authentication. So, right there, I think one of you guys said that
I
that
did.
they're going to be getting rid of. They're not really implementing a 2FA.
I'm sensing some bullshit on the way. I think this is another brick adding to that Apple walled guard to keep people locked in.
You think so?
Because I think with the keychain, iCloud keychain, you can export your passwords at least to a browser. Like, if you wanted to, right now, like
But there's
Safari,
going to be no passwords, Ted.
the
It
Google
sounds like
Chrome,
there's no passwords.
Yeah, so there's nothing to export to the other site.
I see your point, Ted. So yeah, they're saying you're locked in because you can't export it anywhere else.
There's nothing to export.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, I played with the authenticator, and it just generates these random numbers on a time.
Sure.
Time, and I think you take these numbers and you punch them in the other person. So basically, this is the private key that they talk about,
right?
And the public key is on the other end of the whatever service you're trying to get into.
Right.
So, my son, he raised.
So is it like that's Apple is trying to make the de facto where you try to log into a site and the site just gives you will then pass over those keys to your iPhone, like an authentic, like your so your whole iPhone is now an authenticator app.
That's
It'll
what
give
I'm
you those
thinking.
6 passkeys.
That's what they're talking, like, biometrics come into play. This is where the face and finger comes in.
Oh,
So
it's
suppose
not
you were
that
logged
bad.
in. Suppose you were logged in into an app that you
That's not that
originally set up on the iPhone, but suppose you were doing it from an Android phone. Could you do it?
That's the thing. That's a lot. That's what that's a lot of questions here still not completely answered. I get it. I get the whole premise of this, and people are bad with passwords. This is born from two things. I feel people don't manage passwords, and the people who are scamming and hacking, getting passwords.
Right.
So when a hacker gets in there and gets your passwords and gets into your personal information, whatever it can be, or vice versa, if they hack into, let's say, T-Mobile. Or OnePlus in the past, or when you name any other company has been in there, they got your password, okay? Right. And you're supposed to be diligent enough every 30 days of changing your password, hypothetically. I'm just saying,
good luck
but we're
with
not.
That.
We're not.
No.
So this is probably what's born from out of this.
Well, one of the articles said, one of the experts said, it should help because too many people use very obviously simple passwords.
Right. Well, and or repeat, or
right.
If your password is Bob Sam 2, and then you got to change it, it'll be Bob Sam 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? That's where some of these problems are lying. And
I tend to do that, add the number every time I need to change it, because I do it at work too. But I always use a word from a band that I was in 40 years ago. Well, I don't think anybody's going to know that but me.
Yeah, but on the flip side, if somebody hacks into whatever service you're in and steals your password, they got it. You know what I mean? And then if you're just comfortable with band A, and if you changed it to band B, they got probably software that can say, okay, all these passwords with the word band in it.
Well, see, my words don't have the word band in it.
Well, I'm just saying, I'm just picking because you said bands, you or whatever music groups you were with. So, I mean, I'm guilty. I have one particular one I've been using from the time that needed passwords. Okay. Right. And it's been in various different conglomerations, but I've changed some, but I haven't. If you ask me to remember a password, the ones I've changed and not used the basic one, right. I'm done.
Answer Eleanor's question if you can.
Let's see. Why not just use your finger and forget about all the passwords? Well, judging by what you're asking me, that's where they talk about in Apple, they're going to be using that part of it, of that. If I understand correctly, they're going to use your finger as a biometric.
But it was either your finger or your face, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me go back to the thing.
But it's not so bad then, because then you have to actually configure that from the side of the site.
Yeah, exactly. Ted, I was curious. Do you really keep up with changing your passwords when you should and all that stuff, or you like us? You use the same ones over and over.
That's what you guys do. That's just as bad as using using bad passwords.
You change yours. Okay.
Yeah, I use a third party. Like I used to use LastPass. Now I use Bitwarden. And I
used to use LastPass. So I can't remember why I stopped. Brian just came in.
And then for the critical stuff, I use I use the hardware keys I just showed you guys.
Right.
Yeah, wait a minute, hardware keys, like physical keys? I missed
physical
that.
Keys.
Yeah, that's what the whole FIDO thing was about.
Yeah, the physical.
Like a physical
keys.
key? Yeah.
Where
you show me? I'm sorry, I must have been reading.
And that's why I think I tried using a physical key, and then I stopped because I was like, okay, that's one more thing I have to carry. I don't want one more thing.
Yeah, this thing.
Really?
Okay, so but yeah, this USB looking thing. It's USB, so I get to plug it in the phones, and then there's where's the light? Oh yeah, but yeah, I can plug this in the phone, the computer, and it's NFC, so I can tap it on an iPhone, which now supports those NFCs to get in.
And Android, and too they have well they got NFC.
And it's got,
that's neat.
And then it has
That's
like a
neat.
biometric thing. So just because
I tried it about a year and a half ago, and I'm like, yeah, but I'm not going to remember to carry this thing every place I go.
Well, he has it on his keys.
Yeah, I see that.
Will's
back in here too.
But the main thing about those, though, is that they're supposed to be, FIDO's based on two-factor authentication. So you have the password, and then you have that thing. So extra layer.
That's security. Right. When it first came out, that was the extra. Yeah.
So I guess, the whole passkey thing, you're not getting the extra layer. It's just the one thing you get. And it's
but it's still two different things, really. It amounts to two different things. It's just you only have to use one, which is your finger or your face. I mean, the other part goes.
I think you would have to know a password, though. I don't think Apple would just let you just.
I think the article said you'd have to use a password. I think the first time. After that, you wouldn't have to.
Yeah,
like just put your finger or your face, because the initial password thing is somewhere. Yeah. I guess in the cloud, and somehow it changes it each time you go in.
The password thing is it'll probably be the first password you have to know is your iCloud password for sure.
Exactly. That's my guess.
And that's a critical thing is if you forget it, then you really are screwed.
You gotta, you gotta call Apple.
I won't forget mine, but
well, I
that's because I don't change it.
yeah. So I want to move on to Will.
But actually, George.
What? Yeah, go ahead, Ty.
Is that what you said? You like to use the same passwords over and over? That's what my fiance does. It drives me crazy.
That's what I do too. I use passwords nobody would know but me. But yeah, Mike is right. If somebody ever caught on to it, then I'd be.
Let's see. In the comments,
now, of course, I do have in my password file. I have at least 200 passwords.
I put in that URL I put in on the thing. Let George share his screen, Mike, and go to that site, George.
Where is this at?
It's
did you put it in private chat or did you
share?
No, it's in the comments. Time code.
Oh, it didn't pop up on my screen yet.
Wait a minute, you
put it in 717.
717.
I don't see it. I don't see it in comments, and I don't see it in private chat. Oh, 77. Wait, you mean 817? Oh, 717 your time.
Yeah, 817 my time. Yeah.
But nothing's showing that you put in here.
All right, I'll put it to you in the private comments.
Okay.
I've been. Let's see. All right, incoming.
Everybody, this is Ted's password, the one he uses for everything. So help yourself. Let me know how it goes. Okay.
There you are, George.
Okay, I got it.
Now,
where am I going?
Share your screen, George. Share the screen, George. Yeah.
Let me see if I can get back here and see if I can share the screen. Oh,
what's up, Brian? Drive safe, Brian.
Yeah.
Yeah, be safe, brother. All right, I want to share screen. Where'd you go? Oh, there it is.
Am I posted?
Wait a minute, my share screen isn't working right. Oh, I'm over here. Why do I not see the other screen? I'm not seeing the other screen. Oh, I know why.
You must journey
because you don't have the ability to share.
Wait, no. I'm gonna have to split that screen. I'm putting it on my third screen, and then I should be able to share it. Okay. It's nice to have 3 screens.
He's got a battle station, what they call it.
Yeah.
Well, I have one computer with 3 screens, and now I have my other computer from my.
I thought you had a laptop.
I have a laptop, but I have
a laptop
3
with 3 screens. I guess we know what happened to that Razer laptop that had 3 screens that went missing at CES.
Well, behind me in the room, I also have my Surface 8 Pro, which I also use as a computer. That one has 2 screens. Okay, there you go. That's what you wanted to share, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I tried this last year, I think, and I think it showed me I had like a whole bunch of.
Yep. Go ahead and use any.
So
any
what
email.
do you do with this, there, Ted?
You just put in your emails and you see what sites
it tells
have
you
been compromised.
what might be compromised, right, Ted?
Yep.
Really?
And in George's
Yeah.
case, because he likes to reuse the same password, that's very unique and strong
Everything is
on multiple
compromised.
sites. Yep. If one is compromised, all those passwords are all those sites would be
Will,
compromised,
Will,
George.
have you been compromised? Have you had?
Oh
George is
yeah, I'm
scared to put in
sure
his
I have.
email.
Yeah. See, on the iPhone, I think Google does it now too. It shows you like
I don't
in
think
Safari, it'll pop up and tell you like these passwords have been compromised, and it'll tell you how
Yeah,
I
many.
don't
Google
think
does
George
it too
is
now.
George wants to put in his email on the
So,
screen.
Mike, listen, I
Mhm.
I feel dumb. I'm trying to
Oh, you want me to put
understand
my
this
email
whole
in, Ted?
passkey
Yeah, you
thing
can
y'all
hide it.
talking
Actually.
about. So, what is it doing? I'm so lost. I'm so lost with that passkey.
Okay. So the passkey is they're going to come out with. How can I?
So the article is old, right? So it hasn't come out yet still.
Well, no, I think it's out now. I saw the keychain in my phone. You're talking about the Apple one?
What do you iCloud keychain isn't new though. That's
It's
what I'm not
not
understanding.
iCloud keychain. Like, do you know an authenticator app, Will?
Yeah,
It looks
Google
like
Authenticator.
Apple is just
Okay.
gonna bring in an authentication app into their whole iOS thing.
Yeah,
So
and
it's not
Google
out yet.
too.
Yeah. So like,
So it's-
where like how you can use your Apple sign on when you go to different sites now. Like since I think they
Oh
brought
yeah,
Apple did that for
Log
the
on
last
with Apple.
iOS update.
Yeah.
Yeah. So whenever
It's
you
wonderful.
use the Apple sign on, instead of like having to put in a password, the site will just give you the passkey straight to your iPhone or Apple device, and you can just use those to enter the site.
So you
So you
mean
don't-
like you mean like the 6 numbers?
Yeah, the 6 numbers.
Yes, I see the 6 numbers before.
Okay.
There's a Google. There's a
Said with
Google
my email, it
authenticator.
said it found 3.
So if somebody tries to, so like if I try to log on, like I don't know, y'all got iPhones and stuff. So let's say I try to log on to something, it'll be like we're sending the code to one of your other Apple devices, and it'll send me the 3 codes, right?
Yeah.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
It's what
3
Google
numbers.
already does, funny enough.
Everybody
But
does.
Google
That's how I'm not
yeah, they
understanding
all do
what's
that.
new about it. So what's new about it?
Well, what's new is Apple is doing it, I guess, system wide with their devices. And it's what's specifically for their Apple sign on. Google only does this for, I think, if you sign on to any of their Google products.
No.
Yeah. Well, see, Apple has this sign
Well,
on.
actually,
with
no,
Apple.
yeah, and Apple is actually doing passkeys. Google just they'll just send you a verification thing. Like Google's thing
Exactly.
is different, yeah.
Yeah,
that
see,
you have
Google's
to.
thing, people can still steal your thing because they've been like ghosting your SIM card or whatever they call it.
It's not about the SIM
No,
card. It's
I
just
don't
you
think
just have
so.
to have access to the
because
device.
Google sends it. Is Google? You talking about the one where it sends it to your phone number?
No, they don't
No.
send it to your phone number. They send
No.
it to the device.
They send it to your Gmail. That's what I get it on Google. They'll send me like a thing and it'll be like, "Is this you trying to log on?"
No.
Yeah, but it's not tied to like email. Like, it's like the whole phone will just chime and it's just like, hey, like, someone, are you
See,
logging? Yeah. If this is you, like,
last-
press yes. And then,
So the last time I used Android, even on my iPhone, let's say I try to log on to my Google account, it'll send me a
Right.
thing. It'll be like, open the Gmail app, and then I'll have to answer yes or no. That's what I get. for Google.
Okay, yeah.
But
that could be, yeah. I mean,
And,
probably
and,
have to do that
and
'cause you're on
Facebook
iPhone.
does that too, a lot.
see, I think I'm confusing them because I'm used to, Apple has the sign on with Apple, and then they have to hide my email, so they're all blurring together for me. Because I love to hide my email. That thing's wonderful. You can sign up for stuff and you never give your email address out. You give that
That's
fake
good.
email and then they forward it to whatever email is on your Apple thing. But
That's good.
You don't get a whole bunch of junk.
I think it's just extra confusing from Google.
No, what?
Though,
What is?
because Apple already does this pass keys thing, but they don't actually Google won't actually give you keys. They just know to send you the blurb to verify you. But Google also has FIDO authentication on Pixel phones with the whole Titan M security key, which
So wait, Google owns FIDO?
they don't own
No,
FIDO,
no.
but
No,
It's
they
an
both use it.
independent company. It's an independent organization.
yeah,
Yeah,
they're
they
an
both use it.
organization.
Oh god.
But you can use that Titan key thing I showed you. Like, yeah, Mike. Like, Google has that built into Pixel phones in the Titan security.
Yeah. Now I remember.
So if you go to another
before.
site and you have like two-factor authentication, like your picture will show you, like it will give you the keys to get in. So,
Okay.
but it just feels like
yeah.
Google's like moving away from that. Like they're doing like their own passkey sort of thing where they don't actually use keys. They just know to
No
give you a
physical
blurb.
key in this case.
So that's why I'm confused from Google's thing.
Because Google's
Well,
confused.
I mean, reading the
themselves.
articles, it sounds like Google and Apple are both trying to do the same thing. That was my impression.
You know what though? Google will give up on it in 6 months.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so, Will. I
The only reason I don't think they will is because
Nah,
if Apple's
this is
successful with it, Google's going to feel like they have to keep it.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the new way of.
But wait, Ted,
They
isn't
have
that what
to.
you're
I think
saying?
that.
What is Ted saying that they're moving away from?
Google's like moving away from actual authentication hardware keys, whether it's on Pixel.
And they just came out with it, right?
Or whether because the Google also sells those hardware keys I showed you.
That's what I'm saying. So they just started and then they give up because Google is bipolar.
Can I read this one? Let me read this one blurb here. And then we're going to push on here. Just like password managers do with passwords, the underlying OS platform will sync the cryptographic key. I know I'm butchering his name up. Hold on.
Now Will is working, so we're hearing a lot of that.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna. You good, Will?
Yeah, I'm good.
Hold on, I want to find this. This is the word I'm trying to blurb out here, but I'm horrible. I'm horrible with words, especially when I'm trying to.
Oh, cryptographic.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Cryptographic keys that belong to a FIDO credential from device to device. This means that the security and availability of the user synced credential depends on the security of the underlying OS platform, Google, Apple, Microsoft, etc. The authentication mechanism for their online accounts and the security method for reinstating access when all old in parentheses devices are lost. It says here a work and play services is still underway while third-party adoption is a big requirement. This is very true for all of this to work. The string basically what I guess 9 to 5 Google has a what do you call APK Insight. I guess they broke down the coding for it.
Right.
The string today suggests that Google will be making a pretty user-facing push encourage passkeys adoption as seen in the string. I remember saying this in the string: hello passkeys, goodbye passwords, and cover the image above.
Okay.
So
I think it's a smart play overall.
I think so too. I think like we mentioned about we're just equally as abused the system, and we got like a big sign out front saying "Welcome, come on in." Okay. Now I want to ask you guys, who do you think is the biggest abuser when it comes to screwing up your account? Now, I'm going to lean more towards the social aspect. I want to know what you guys have experienced.
How are you defining screwing up your account?
Well,
give us an example.
Like you've been hacked, and then you fixed it, and you did whatever you did, and then you got hacked again, or
as far as providers, I don't know that I've ever been hacked.
I've been hacked at
Bank of America. I've been hacked at financial stuff in the past, but I've never been hacked with a provider or anything.
Okay. How about then social platforms?
Facebook easily.
Thank you. And what? And have you been hacked?
No, nobody got mine so far. But half the people that I know on Facebook have gotten it. And it's gotten very easy to tell these days because all of a sudden you'll get a request from a friend that you already have as a friend. And if you accept it, they can't really do nothing, but you get, hello, how are you? Well, right away, you know. But it hasn't been done to me as yet. But like I said, about half the people I know on Facebook, it has.
It's Saturday. I always love this with Ren. So he always talks about it's like the next day, and
it's the next day.
I know it blows my mind.
Yeah,
he's already enjoying Saturday.
No, he's not enjoying it. He's going to work.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Well,
he works every Saturday.
I'm sorry, Russ. I don't even mean to say enjoy, but in my mind, I'll be sitting on the porch hopefully tomorrow and enjoying.
Well, if he's like me, I guess if he enjoys his work as much as I enjoy mine, I guess he is enjoying himself.
Right. I feel that the whole Facebook platform Meta, wherever they are this week, they're probably the worst.
There's a lot of speculation that the whole Meta thing is going to be a huge failure. I tend to think that also.
I personally despise the Facebook.
Well, I think we all dislike Zuckerberg above everybody else.
Yeah, I bet that, and for those reasons now we're talking about. I mean, I know my wife completely lost her account, got hijacked. By the way, I'm going to give a shout out to our good friend Linda. If she's not, I'm going to send her the link to the show. Linda, we're going to talk about you and your problems dealing with Instagram. Linda had her account hacked and hijacked basically, and they went ahead and changed instead of. I think her name was all together, like there was no spaces. They put two underscores.
Right.
And
she couldn't get back in.
Oh, one better. They used two-factor authentication on her.
Ooh.
Okay. So she can't even get into the account. And then,
look at Gary's comment too.
Let's see. What's this?
Hey, Carol's here. Hey, Carol.
That's weird because people are use the same password. Yeah?
Yeah, I don't do that.
Yeah. Let's see. Mom's here. Hey. Yes, Mom. Facebook bashing because Mom, we need to change your password. That's all I got to tell you. Okay? Because
hey, Carol, I'll be there in a month and a half, so get your voice ready for some duets.
Yeah, I was going to surprise her, but okay, Mom. If you didn't hear the announcement, George is coming up in June. I'll fill you in later. So she got completely. And there was no recourse. That's the thing. She said
she had to do a whole new identity on Facebook.
She not Facebook. It was Instagram.
Oh, and Instagram. Okay.
She couldn't. But the thing is, she called the number, and then she called. She tried. Nobody answered her phone, or I don't think anybody even replied to her message. Yeah, there is no help. And I know this for a fact because when my wife's main account got stolen from her. There's no recourse. There's absolutely no recourse. Somebody got in there.
If they're not giving you any support, then nothing you can do.
Right, and that's just it. How are you supposed to fix this? And thank God that there was never a credit card or anything on her account that could be more damaging.
Well, I don't think any of us would put a credit card on any of the socials.
Well, there's the games. There's the games if you want to go buy coins or stuff like that, or
you
just don't know. I know look, George, I know for a fact my wife went onto a site to look at some kind of makeup thing, and then she was exploring it and looking at it, and then when she clicked on to go find out the price, it was pushing her. It was literally pushing her to make the purchase. Her name, address, credit card.
So they could get her card,
Right, and I'm and the only recourse was to shut down. I think it was her Chromebook. She had shut down her computer, and we hope for the best. And, and but a little bit of fault on our end, not changing the password, but it seems so easy on Facebook and Instagram for these people.
Facebook is by far the worst, by far.
Ted, are you on Facebook?
Nope.
Instagram?
No.
Of course, my you know me, my musician singer's mind. He said,
Oh shit!
"It's all for the best," and my mind immediately went, "Yes, it's all for the best," which is a song from Godspell.
But you know the other thing that happened to Linda, and please Linda, don't get, when you hear what I'm about to say, please don't get upset here. I'm trying to find my notes here. The thing that really got me was she was so frustrated. She turned to her carrier, which is Verizon,
Right.
and try to see if they could help. Well, you know, their help was they signed her up for the security package for $25 a month.
Well, I mean, maybe that would help. I don't know, but it's got me keep in mind it's not Verizon's job to. That's nothing to do with them, you know.
But I understand.
Big House is here. What's up, brother?
Yeah, it's getting a bit too much out of the carrier.
Yeah, but I mean, I understand her frustration. She was trying to seek help. She's in Florida. She's not here in Jersey. So if I was around, I could have helped her. What's this? What's Gary saying? Those phishing apps or something. I'm thankful. Extra. You paying extra for that, there, Gary?
Hey, Big House. Yeah, I think this is actually a good move overall. Yeah, that I would actually prefer if
to
Google,
get the extra security.
Not the extra security, but just people can't be trusted to from what from what I'm hearing from you guys and the comments can be relied on to just do passwords. It is actually work, finding
but
a third party,
yes,
finding a good password manager, then deciding if you guys want to.
Right. Well, this is the thing that's what I'm saying is.
Gary said it came with the package for Xfinity.
Okay. All right. That's hey, comes with it, and then that's a win for all the way around.
Oh, but Big House. Will's in here too. He's just at work, so he's
what's going on, Big House?
Mike sometimes.
Oh, look,
there's your wife. There's your wife, Mike.
Hi, honey. How you doing? I'm sharing about you're getting hijacked on Facebook now, and Linda's problem.
Hi, Pat.
He said it was all your fault.
No, I did not. Stop.
You're going to get him a beating.
No.
Remember, you're going to be married next year. You better straighten up.
Get it out while you can, Ted. Get it out.
Yeah, I get it out while you can.
Anyway, what was I going to say about this is what precipitated, I guess, maybe the push for keys. I mean, not this one reason, so. but now with that, and look what happens with two-factor authentication, where Linda couldn't get back into her account because she needed to have that, and
because they put it on as soon as they hijacked.
Right.
The one big problem with the keys, though, is that if you lose the device, you might be in trouble.
No, it's well, at least in corner of Google, it's tied to your account.
Right, so, and keep in mind, it's going whenever you go in, it's going to want either your face or your thumb.
Yeah, but I'm thinking if you're trying to sign in from a desktop.
Hey, Alan. More Jersey representation. This is
that's
good.
Right. More Jersey. That's right. Yeah, Pat's saying tell me. So okay. Yeah. That I just wanted to share. That's why I did it as a.
Yeah, but what if you're on a desktop, a Mac, that doesn't have Touch ID?
Well, let's see. My Surface does have Touch ID, but my iPad, I don't know. But it does have Face ID. Remember, the whole thing is supposed to either use your thumb or your face.
Not on Mac.
So wait, does the keyboard that you can buy for the Mac, doesn't it come with Touch ID?
Yeah.
Like my MacBook has Touch ID.
Okay, there you go.
You can't. Yeah, I guess you'd have to make sure whatever computer you have.
And then you can use with the Mac you can use your watch.
Right.
Some kind of way to buy stuff too.
And with this laptop that I'm on right now, I do have Touch ID.
Apple is ka-ching.
The ecosystem.
So at least it's not brooking you in, but it sure is making money.
Yeah. But there's your lock-in right there too.
They're building that wall up, and I'm helping.
I'm gonna have to get this upgraded. This Magic Keyboard upgraded.
Why you wear it
I
out?
love my Magic Keyboard.
No, it doesn't have Touch ID.
Oh, okay. All right.
It also uses batteries, truthfully.
You can't charge it?
It has rechargeable batteries.
Mm.
Okay.
But yeah, this is
Mike,
the old
when are we
Magic
talking
Keyboard.
about the podcast stories? It's coming.
You know,
Well,
it's
it's coming.
coming.
Do you want to? Do you want to? Do
I
we
can't.
can jump to
I
that?
can't read. No, go in order. I'll just make sure I ain't miss it.
It can't.
No,
read.
no. You're talking about number
Correct.
3 about the phone tech and the
Okay.
writers.
Yeah,
and how
I'm
things
gonna
have
get to
changed.
that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the next
Well,
one we have up is the RCS stuff.
Yeah, we're going to do the RCS now. Moving on,
Okay.
folks. How to force? Okay. Everybody here uses Google Messages.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And let me see.
And it happened today that Eleanor tried to send me a text and she didn't realize that RCS didn't send it. But I have to show it the switch you can flip that it automatically sends it in
Well,
SMS.
you can tap on the message. You could tap on the message.
Yes, you can.
Where it's still, and then it gives you the option then. Or,
Yes.
Or permanently. Okay, which is where I'll quickly blaze through this. Basically, just this morning, if the person goes through the situation like Eleanor is talking about, you're trying to send a message on RCS/Android messaging, and it just keeps on spooling, or it says sending, and it doesn't say deliver, and then you might get a little red mark or something there saying message not sent.
Right.
So you have an opportunity to change the message to a basic SMS.
Right.
And it does go on here. Google has made a lot of noise about messages lately, even to make it more friendly when messaging with iPhones. But obviously, there are still kinks.
Exactly.
And it goes into again. By the way, everything we're talking about, I made sure there are links down below, and
they're in the show notes too, so you can link on the stories.
Right. And then it explains to you that there is a switch in Android messaging to for if it doesn't want to send it, it will automatically flip it to SMS. But I do find my experience. Once it does it once, it wants to keep on sending it as an SMS text to me.
Oh no, not with me, because I have it on 2 of mine, and it always tries to send it as RCS first,
and then it will send an SMS, and
then
then
if it can't send
then does it flip it back to regular?
Yes.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah.
So I found it interesting that they have this way, which is great. And George was one of the people that felt my frustration long ago. For some reason, my flip phone, my Z Flip would not work RCS, and I magically figured out how to do this. By the way, Mom's going. She did say she always likes to stop in and say hi.
Okay.
Good night, Mom.
Carol.
I'll see you or talk to you tomorrow. I got to go down and fix Mom's Roku.
Okay.
And oh wait a minute, here we go. Gary says just reboot the phone when it does that. And yes, that's not always a fix. You got to go in here and clear cache and clear memory.
Really?
Yes.
I would have thought rebooting the phone would do it.
No.
Okay.
Clear the cache. You got to go into the app, the actual app, app info.
Yeah, exactly.
And you go in there and you clear that, and then it will get it to work. And so far, knock wood, it's staying. I have yet to have an issue at all.
Good.
But where's my notes here? Now the thing when I say Will's gonna giggle over is the next article says iOS 16 is a perfect time.
Mike, I remember, Mike. So wait, your RCS is working good now? Because I remember you had a terrible time with that flip phone.
Yeah. Yes.
Because you went back to your Galaxy S10 and you were like,
yes, he did.
Fine on there. And then when I use this one, it doesn't work. And then you said, remember, you were like messaging, I think, your mom, and they weren't going through.
Mm-hmm.
You just had a terrible time.
And vice versa. Patty would try and message me, and she would call me and go, "Yo, I'm trying to get a hold of you." and I didn't know. Yeah, then I realized I flipped the phone. I saw it wasn't working. That's when I started. For the longest time, it must have been through an update because a lot of the Pixel had that option on the individual person that you're messaging to accept the message as SMS text.
Right.
But
but keep in mind, both Eleanor and I have Pixels, and you occasionally get that RCS won't send a message with any of my phones. Occasionally.
Really, I'm surprised. The Pixel's been,
but it doesn't happen all the time.
solid.
But it happened today when Eleanor sent me a message, and 2 hours later she said, "Didn't you get my message?" And then she changed it to SMS when she saw it, and boom, it came right through.
So wait,
but I told her I have to show her how to flip that switch.
So, Mike, I'm like the biggest RCS cheerleader, or I was. So
yeah, you were.
I don't know how long RCS has been out. 2 years, 3 years. So probably
been out for a while.
After we
About 3 years,
so
I think.
Are y'all like disappointed in where it's at? Because most people I seen on Twitter, somebody was saying like, yeah, RCS is great, and somebody else was saying nearby share is great. My thing is like with Android and Google, they don't even promote it.
No, they
most
don't.
Most people don't even know about it.
That's true.
And then
That's
still
very
with
true.
the carriers, I don't know. It's just weird.
This is where
so
this
are y'all
other...
like disappointed where it's at?
Am I disappointed? Yeah, because I saw a similar comment about Jay Jolson. I think he mentioned about that he talks about it to his friends. They have no idea it exists for his Android using.
Well, yeah, that's where Will's right. They do nothing to promote it. Just like they're depending on the carriers to promote it. Well, they're not going to promote it. Google's got to promote it.
The carriers don't care.
The carriers don't care. No, the carriers do care. Hold on. The carriers care because they make their own blankety blank version of RCS. Okay, so they can load it with garbage.
Carriers have all agreed to this more recently than not.
No, they agreed, but they didn't agree to use Android's version. Verizon's supposed to come out with they still haven't actually fully implemented it. Verizon hasn't fully implemented RCS, and they already said they're going to use RCS, but it's going to be under their own app.
Oh, okay.
And AT&T, there was a whole thing. I did a video about how RCS, and on AT&T, on some of their AT&T phones, apparently there's 2 RCSs. Sounds like they're out there.
Or some forked version that they made. But yeah, as far as I know, only the Samsung phones default automatically.
Yeah, but that's for maybe
my new Moto does also.
So I just saw like there's a bug with the RCS with the messages app on the Samsung phone that's killing the battery. Now wait.
Yeah, I've seen that story too. I haven't had that problem.
So, I haven't.
Oh,
either.
Hey, Louis. Hey,
why
Louis.
doesn't since Samsung is like
hey, Louis, good to see you here, brother.
Hey.
Why don't they just put their foot down and say like?
I'm just numb. I'm like, I bet the police don't care.
Because Samsung is the face of Android, so they need to do like Apple and be like, y'all can't.
Agree.
You know what I mean? Y'all have to make up your mind. You can't have 8 different versions of RCS. Like
I agree.
AT&T has advanced messaging or whatever, enhanced something, and Verizon has their own Verizon something.
Exactly.
As a techie, I don't think it's my problem to be bothered with RCS.
Yeah,
I am above that. Yeah, if I need better messaging features, I use a third-party messenger app.
So like Ted, listen, everybody, like I know there's one person I know, right? He loves Telegram, right? And Telegram is great, but literally nobody I know uses Telegram. I can't tell you the last time I saw Mike on Telegram.
I know a lot of people on Telegram, but they're all techie people.
No.
Mike,
you got to hit me up on Telegram, dude.
You've never messaged me on Telegram.
Okay, I'm doing it now just because, but I use it for work. I got all the guys. I got everybody at work on it.
No. I'm saying like Ted says he doesn't use RCS, but I'm saying everybody I know, they either use regular SMS, Facebook Messenger, or that's it. Nobody.
A lot of people use Facebook Messenger.
Most people I see, right? They'll pop up on Telegram. They'll pop up on Telegram, right? And it'll be like
WhatsApp is out of the country. In America, most they go to Facebook.
I thought Facebook was doing that thing so that whether you use WhatsApp, Instagram, or Facebook Messenger, they're all going to work.
Yeah, they're supposed to all cross message, but you have to turn it on.
I haven't seen it yet.
You have to turn.
Oh. Yeah, you have to turn it on.
So just get 1 out of the 3 and you're good, right?
But it would be like, for example, Ted has joined Telegram, and they would give me the little wave, and then they would never message me. So
Hey, BG is in here. What's up, brother?
Ted, are you still on Telegram?
Yeah.
Are you?
see, now listen, everybody's on Telegram, right? And Mike, George, y'all go between iPhone and Android. So why aren't we just messaging in Telegram?
Matter of fact,
That's
did
true,
we
because I
make
do
up
have
a group on
Telegram on
Telegram?
every
Yeah, you
single
did.
device I have.
But everybody disappeared. Everybody
I
left.
thought we made a Friday Night Tech Talk group
We
on Telegram.
did.
The only
And
one
everybody
of my group at all that I know
So-
that's still on Telegram is Don. Don is on there all
So
the time.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's I don't know. I guess Android messages is like Telegram. Like Ted, you don't use it. Mike uses it. I don't
I use it.
because I have an
Eleanor
Android
uses
phone.
it.
Like it's Google needs to do something because
Yeah,
I'm
and I
messaging
agree. What
everybody.
Google should do is change the app so that nobody can modify it, like Verizon or anybody
Honestly,
else.
what I'm gonna tell you is, and it's gonna sound dumb, and it is dumb because half the stuff on iMessage I don't use, like all those the Animoji and all that. But Google needs to start adding that type of stuff so that teenagers want to use it.
Yeah, that's probably
Otherwise, it's bare bones. It's just regular messaging. Like it doesn't do nothing special. They have to
Yeah,
come up with
that's
something to
true.
make people want to use it. And teenagers are the ones who, like my sister has a Galaxy S20. I don't even know if she knows what RCS is. She probably don't.
No.
Yeah, see it.
No,
Well, see,
nobody does.
Lewis is saying regular text, Facebook Messenger, and iMessage. That's USA. You know,
George has two. The heck? George has two.
Yeah, that's 3. George has 3. I just looked on mine.
What
What
I'm
to what?
saying?
You have 3.
Telegram
You have 3
accounts.
Telegram accounts. You must have not known.
You know why?
No, in the
because
beginning, I got
it
all
goes by your
confused.
phone
I only
number.
use one
It
of
goes
them,
by your
really.
phone number.
Which
So
one?
George probably registered all of his phone numbers, and they gave him 50 different accounts.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
have
because you know,
Telegram on all my computers and all my phones and my tablet, everything.
And you could use Telegram on the computer. Like I got it on
Yeah,
my
I
Mac.
do
I
use
use-
it on the computer.
Yes, I do. Same here for work. Yes. But hey, but Will, see, I mentioned in the show notes that you didn't read. Anyway,
Mike,
so
I'm out of homework mode. It's homework.
yeah, you are. You
He's
are. I
out
had to
of
break it
homework
for you a
mode.
little bit.
Okay.
Give
Give him a test. You'll put it back in homework mode.
Yeah, I know. This guy from Digital Trend says iOS 16 is perfect time for Apple's message to add RCS. And
That's
I started
right.
reading this. I was like, oh my god, this is Will. He's just going to like explode in rant mode
Now,
over
wait,
this.
That's
listen.
true.
Why would
See, here we go.
Apple
Here we
join
go. I
that?
can hear it
No,
coming.
no. Listen, why would Apple join the mess? Like Google, like they talked about this months ago. Google wants Apple to fix the mess that they won't fix with the carriers because they know if Apple
Well,
joins,
you got
Apple's
a point
gonna-
there. You have a point there,
Apple is
Will.
Apple's gonna say, you're not putting all this stuff in our app. You know what I mean? They're gonna fix it. But why would why would Apple help them? I mean, I understand it's better for the user or whatever, for the Android user,
Right.
but the average iPhone user doesn't care. If y'all can't get a message or video that looks right, they don't care. They'll just send you an iCloud.
And they
link.
never will care, the average iPhone user.
Yeah, like this is a Google problem. As big as Google is, Google should fix it.
How
It's crazy.
and I will say this though. I know this is giving more ammo to Will. You know, where I've yet to ever use I know he's going to love this. So don't Will, don't gush on me too much, okay? You're at work. Okay? But I've used iMessage and I've used SMS text and I've never had an issue. Here, why there's a whole thing here, another article from The Verge showing you, oh, if you can't send your message here, switch it to SMS. What is the point of having RCS if you can't get the blankety
And that's
blank
the thing.
message out?
It's buggy because I'd say 2/3 of the time when I send a message to RCS, it sends it. But 1/3 of the time, it doesn't send it. And then you
And
got to
see,
switch it
that's
to SMS.
That's the thing. Once it does that, it's enough to
Yeah.
make you want to stop using it. Like,
Yeah.
like when Mike was going through that mess, and that's why I always laugh because Android is like, if you go on Twitter and find like a problem thread or something, they'll be like,
Yeah, Mike
clear
had a
the
much
cache?
worse time than most
Now,
people that I know.
wait a minute, I see. Wait a minute,
They'll
I
say-
see. When Gary's saying here it's not a Google problem, it's a carrier problem. I'm sorry.
How is it a carrier problem?
It's not a carrier problem because Gary,
because
I switched SIMs.
It's on Google's Jive, whatever.
Yeah, it's a Google problem. It's not a carrier.
It's a Google problem.
Yeah.
I switched SIMs between T-Mobile and a Verizon carrier-based SIM. So,
but like Mike was like, clear the cache.
Yeah, Gary, go look in the show notes and look at that story.
You shouldn't have to do that crap.
The Verge, and it tells you it's a Google problem.
All that stuff is too much. Like when I buy my phone and give you all $1,000, I shouldn't be doing tech support on my phone. That's crazy. Most people don't even know what clear the cache is.
Well, see, now see, Lou is being nice. He says RCS is fairly new and needs to grow. RCS has been around for 3 years at least.
RCS is old. That technology's been out forever. It's just that Google.
But I mean, RCS as it is right now, it's been around at least 3 years, so it's not that new.
It's not new, but Google hasn't done nothing with it. They haven't added a thing to it since it started.
I'm still hella confused why you guys are just expecting anything good for messaging to come from Google. Just get
you see Gary's comment.
Just use another instant messenger for goodness sake.
But wait a minute. But how? Wait a minute. And that's fair to say, Ted. But how are you going to tell your mom, your sister, your brother, your aunt, your uncle, your friends, here, go put this other messaging app on, and they're going to look at you like, "Oh, why? That's extra work."
Listen,
why do I have all these?
I would look at them in the face and say, "Listen, whatever you did to get Google Chrome, that web browser that didn't come on your laptop or computer, however you did to get that installed on your computer, do that same thing on your phone."
But I don't want to. I don't need to do that.
But
Will, you can just
dehack I'm being devil's advocate though too. But on the other hand, nobody wants to do that.
Android phones coming with Google Messages as the default.
You know what they're gonna say? This is what happens to the people that I know. They'll jump out the window and be like, "I'm gonna try Android," and they'll go to it, and then they'll have these kind of problems, and then they'll be like,
right back.
"I'm leaving." Yeah. They'll send a picture or get, you know what the number one thing is? They'll get a video from an iPhone user and it looks like trash. And they're like, "I'm done."
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, wait a minute.
Like hold on. It's a basic function.
But Will, I mean, if they're using RCS and it's working right, that video should come through nicely, shouldn't it?
No. I'm saying if an iPhone person sends it. So it's because
an iPhone person, yes. I've gotten pictures from iPhone people.
No, a video. If I send you a video on an Android phone, it's going to look like trash. And they're used to it looking great on an iPhone, and then they kill it. They don't even think like, "Oh, well, Apple did this," because why would Apple have to do that? They're not going to do that.
You see,
that's like, could you imagine if Google was in Apple's position? They wouldn't be like, "Yeah, we're going to help fix it. We're going to join." You know what I mean? Nobody's doing that. And the message that Google screaming that Apple should make it work together. The only people that hear that are techies. The average person, all they know is, when I had an iPhone, it worked. I could have an iPhone 4, and I could still get an iMessage, whatever, video, and it's going to work. That's all they worry about.
That's the thing with RCS. I'd say about a third of the time, it doesn't send it, and you don't know it until you go back and look. Unless you have that
thing that said the iPad 1 is going to lose Netflix support. The iPad 1. The first iPad. Yeah, like, man, Android needs help. That's all. Android needs help. Does anybody?
It's not that Android needs help. It's Google needs to care about this stuff.
Pretty sure Nexus 7 is still running. What?
I've gotten a video from
can still run Netflix.
It was trash.
It doesn't matter. Netflix will be out of business in another year the way it's going anyway.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're tanking. Yeah,
yes, they are.
What's this here he wrote here?
But I do remember if you like
problems,
Google originally let carriers figure out how they were going to implement RCS.
And I guess Gary's not a big fan of cricket. Okay.
And then Google just gave up and said, "Like, fine, I'll do it myself." Like Thanos. Yeah.
Think about how crazy that is. They could have did that.
Problem. Google does give up on things.
Well, it's not like Google gave up. Google first let the carriers figure out RCS.
They finally said.
It's only recently in the last 3 years that Google took the wheel and said, "We'll just do this shit ourselves."
Yeah, that's true. It's not even 2 years. I think it's only a year or something.
They should have been did that.
Yeah, they should have been do that.
Because you had somebody like me waiting,
I don't know why you were waiting, Will.
Wait, Gary's asking me a question.
Like,
Gary, what I'm saying
we all
is,
know Google's track record. I don't know why you were
type
waiting.
the text, you push it,
I
and
was
then you
hoping.
just close your phone, you walk away. That's what happened to Eleanor today. She typed the text, she sent it, and then she walked away. Well, 2 hours later, she realized that it had never been sent. And then she sent it as SMS, and I got it immediately.
Isn't this
And that
something
does happen
that,
to me sometimes.
that guy Dieter Bond that left The Verge? Isn't this something that he's supposed to be working on? The whole integration between
Yes.
Google's
Yes.
products
Is that
and that?
right? Yeah. Well, funny you mention that. Well, that's a good segue. Thank you, Ted.
That's
we're
our
gonna,
next
we're going to
story.
segue into the next story. Next, it's not even a story. Will, this is the part
No,
we're going to be talking about.
yeah.
Are you there, Will?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here, man.
Okay, I didn't know if you're busy. I get it. So.
No, I'm here.
Okay. I've noticed, and I know that I know in passing talked to George and a little bit to Will, but let me before I start into this. What's your favorite podcast? How to get Android news? Let me just say Android news.
Android
that's
Central for me.
Okay.
Android Central, but it's waning for me.
Yeah,
It's
and I agree. I should have said it was Android Central.
Was that when it was
Not
what
the
with
same.
before Joshua
with Daniel
Vakara?
Bader. With
Before?
Daniel Bader.
Okay,
No, Android Central was Daniel Bader.
Yeah, I
and
miss
then
him.
Joshua took it over.
Even 3 or
No.
4 years ago, when Phil was still running it, I that was my favorite.
Yeah.
But
for
yeah,
me, it was
ever
Android.
since Daniel left, not so much.
Right, and
I
this
still
is
hang
where
on
I
for
was.
Jerry.
Yeah, me too. That's why everybody hangs on it.
So, let's talk about how the landscape of tech news and I'm my eyes are on Android because that's my thing, but
Right.
but as a whole, I feel that the tech community and people who are in charge, Dieter. How you say his Dieter Bond?
Dieter Bond was a
He
huge thing. He was one of the original people with The Verge.
That's how I heard. Yes.
Yeah.
And so him going on to Google of all things, that's amazing. I have to, I'm a little jealous of that.
Big House likes Phone Dog. Now, his
They have a
Elmer's
podcast?
explaining what happened to her today, Gary. She said she tapped on the message and it went to regular. And then, yes, George and I already have that other setting on my phone, so I didn't know why it did what it did. So you see, you don't always notice it, Gary. That's the point.
So Phone Dog is they have a podcast?
I don't know if they had a podcast or just general publication.
Oh, you mean like
something
back
that
in the day?
He said
well,
like that's past tense, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Mike, what'd you say?
Apparently
Yeah,
he's a
no.
newscaster now or anchor person.
What was his name? Oh my God, I see his face.
For which
I know.
which
For Phone Dog.
And
The
they
white
changed
guy.
too.
I used
They
to watch it.
changed.
Yeah, I used to watch it too, and they've been going a while.
Yeah. I mean, you got.
Well, the other one I used to like was who's the one that sold the whole thing?
sold the whole. Oh, Jonathan. Wait a minute. No.
You talking about Techno Buffalo?
Techno
No.
Buffalo. Yeah.
No, not that one. It was another one. But yeah,
He sold the whole thing. What do you mean? So like.
no, there were 3 guys that used to. They were pretty Fandroid. I used to watch them every single week, and then they sold the whole Fandroid name to another guy, and he still has it, and he's really good. But they all walked away, all 3 of them.
They all walked away, huh? But it
As
was that recent?
far as I know. Now, I did see one of them, one who mainly ran Fandroid back in the day. I did see a story from him on somebody else's site a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised to see his name. But I used to watch them every week.
And has this changed? Has this what you're talking about has changed in the last year?
I'd say it's about a year and a half ago.
Okay, and that's about right time because that's when. Well, before that, actually, was it seems to me the change started to happen. Was the big change was Michael.
Well,
Fisher
Daniel Bader left Android Central about. Oh yeah, well Michael Fisher left.
Fisher left.
Pocket Now.
Pocket Now to join the Android Central, but then apparently that company, that little bit of company, got bought out by another company.
Yeah, they got bought out by another company, which kind of set Michael off on his own. He's still just as big,
Yeah.
And he's still associated with them because he'll come in the Android Central podcast about once every 2 months or so. You know.
Oh, there you are. Okay. Anyway.
And Daniel Bader, I think, left about 9 months ago, I'd say.
No. No,
10
Daniel
months?
Bader, it was maybe 3 months tops. Maybe
No, it was more than that.
No, I heard his last podcast.
So
It
did
was just
I.
this year.
It wasn't. Was it this year?
Yeah, it was this year.
Yeah, I don't think he's been gone that long.
No.
And she did a pretty good. What's her name that left? That just left. Ara Ragnar. She did a pretty good job. I was surprised that I still liked it just about as much. But then she left, and to me, it hasn't been the same since. And I'm if it wasn't for Jerry, I wouldn't be listening at all.
Mm-hmm.
Mike, so wait, her and the other guy, they went to that new one that you sent me, right? Right?
No.
You just sent me.
Well, I sent you two. I sent you the Android Police.
Yeah, and that's who she went to work for.
Yes.
Right.
And I just discovered this other person.
What was the other one you sent me?
Hayato left too?
Mike, wait. What was the other one you sent me?
I sent you one on hold on, I'll find it.
Now, when you sent the message to us in the email, Hayato, I didn't know he was gone.
You know who he's working for?
No.
MKBHD.
Yeah,
Oh, he is.
Speaking of, let's talk about that. Like,
What's that?
the fact that MKBHD pretty much like pawned 80% of Android Authority.
David Emile, I think he took.
Oh, David Emile. Well, I've seen broadcasts with him in MKB, but he works for him now too.
Yeah.
Yeah, David Emile was a huge one.
And Hayato went over there.
Hayato was kind of huge too, because Hayato
he was growing. He was growing.
Was it Kogan? Not Kogan.
No,
Who's the
Kogan
guy
is
from
on his
Sound
own.
Guys? Who's the guy from Sound Guys that Android Authority bought? He was also,
Yeah, he was he was around on Sound Guys for a long time.
Yeah. Went to MKBHD took him too.
Then what I wanted with the whole point
That's
is
a tier team he got.
Yeah,
how does this affecting us getting information? How does this play out? How do you feel? Is this having well, obviously we're switching because
based on what you're telling me, I know how it's going to affect me. If they're all going to work for MKBHD, who I already like and respect, I'll just listen to him more.
Well, you can't help but not look at MKBHD because that's artwork. To me, I always said that.
Yeah, but see, what I like about MKBHD is, for me, now I know it's not the same for everybody, but for me, I tend to trust what he says. Yeah, of course, I feel the same way about Michael Fisher too.
What is it Android Authority up to these days anyway? It's been years since I've actually paid attention to them.
And a lot of people over the years, I think Gary's right, because a lot of people have come through Android Authority, but the only one that nobody kind of stays with them. They all kind of go on somewhere else.
Yeah. I think the shortest one was Crystal Key.
Yes, you're right, Missy. He did have some kind of part in Star Trek back in the day. I've never seen it.
Nah,
but
Lower Deck was
he talks about it, and he's crazy about Star Trek.
Star Trek, yes, he is.
But he was an actor, so it makes sense.
Mm-hmm. It is the standard. And I say he is not the standard, but he is a standard.
I think the thing about MKBHD, some people find him a little too slick and polished. I don't, but some people do.
I think people hate him because they don't like his opinion because he didn't like LG.
I think he's just honest about that, but I think for some people he's a little bit too polished.
No, I think people just don't like not his success, but they don't take him serious because they're like his review is like a commercial because he doesn't go into it all technical.
What's the saying? He's all style and he's a lot of style and less substance.
Yeah, he's a lot of style. Yeah, but if you want to go into it, you got to go with.
But here's
his name.
You gotta get more grassroots.
What's his name from Queens?
Flossie,
or the girl in Seattle. And she's not around much anymore.
Erica?
Erica. Yeah, she had
a kid.
But you hardly see family. She hardly posts anything ever anymore.
Because she had a kid.
But those two gave you more depth and detail by far than anybody I know.
Here we go. We have a convert. We have somebody coming to the dark side. Miss E saying off topic, selling my red Apple Watch, switch to Android, and we'll be either getting a Pixel Watch or that beautiful Samsung pink watch. So
let's talk about this
anybody's looking for
Pixel
an
watch.
Apple
That's a
Watch.
good choice.
I
am excited for the Pixel Watch, big time.
Has Google announced this thing?
No.
I don't think there's any other device where I've heard people.
It's Google I/O. That's all.
There is no other device. I think the Pixel Watch takes the cake for the record of where people have talked about the most and has never come. Like Google,
years, yeah, that's true.
This is what I think. I think people talk about it so much, and they're going to be disappointed.
You're going to piss Will off.
Like Google hasn't even said anything about a Pixel Watch coming.
I think everybody's going to be disappointed because it's not like since Google's making it, Android Wear is just going to miraculously get better. If Samsung made a watch,
but it's going to be based on the Samsung watch.
George,
Samsung, and I love my Samsung watch even more than I like my Apple Watch.
How do you guys know? Like
you like Google. It, but George, you like it, but
like what?
You're really. He likes the watch. He likes the Samsung watch. He likes the Android.
Okay, Samsung watch.
I have my Apple Watch on today. Yesterday, I had on my Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. Tomorrow,
George,
I'll have that on again. But between the two, I like the Galaxy Watch 4 a little bit better.
George, I tried the Galaxy 3, the Galaxy Active, the Fossil, whatever they had, and Android Wear just isn't good.
And
you surprised me with the Active because a lot of people that had the Active loved it. Remember, Jaime Rivera loved the Active.
Well, I mean, the Active was Tizen, but I'm saying Android Wear itself. Like when I had the Fossil watch, what was I tried one more. I forget what it was. Like,
did you try the Galaxy Watch 4?
No, but listen,
because it's different now, and I think you'd like it better. And if the Pixel Watch is going to be like that, I think they'll have good sales.
Nobody's going to buy it because
we'll see.
Android Wear.
I'm going to buy it day one. I know that.
No one's going to buy it because there's going to be nothing to buy.
Well, that could be. See,
I don't
isn't trusting
why do you guys think a Pixel Watch is just going to come out in a time where companies are having trouble making stuff and selling them?
Yeah, we are all hyped up. That's true.
Mike has Android Watch, so every time I use it and I try to like it, but it's like I don't know what it's missing. I guess it's because to me it's just all over the place, and the batteries die fast. I don't know, Mike. What do you think of yours? I know you use it.
Well, I have a Gear S3, and I have the Watch 4. Right now, I don't use the Watch 4 because I was switching stuff and I haven't set it up. I like the Tizen. I like how
Tizen was better than it's better than.
I like
Google.
it.
And I think that's what the Pixel Watch is going to be very much based on, is my guess. Keep in mind, Samsung and Google are becoming like this.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Because Google knows that Samsung stuff is getting more and more and more popular. I listened to a podcast today from England, and the guys were raving about how Samsung is beating everybody with all kinds of updates, and they're right.
Yeah, that's just because.
And I think Google has latched on to Samsung because they know how Samsung keeps growing and growing and growing.
Instead of taking the point for like the most premium Chromebook, usually Google has that crown. But this year, it was last year and the year before, they gave that crown over to Samsung.
Yeah,
they didn't give it to them.
They gave it to them.
No,
Google didn't put out anything.
No, Samsung took it from them. I think
they didn't. You can't take
talking about them, guys. Look
Google didn't put out. Google didn't put out anything.
Listen,
thank you, sir, for stopping by.
Ted, the reason they don't put it out is because when Google put out the Pixel book or whatever, nobody bought it.
That's true. So, it's just way too expensive for what you were getting.
So as much as everybody says Google doesn't care about sales, they obviously care. They would make a Pixel book every year. But anyway.
But yeah, nobody bought it. Google,
But remember, a year and a half ago, everybody was saying that
they did have sales.
Tablets were gone. Well, now tablets seem to be coming back, probably a lot because of Samsung and Microsoft.
I would say a lot
So,
more people bought
wait.
the Pixelbook than the
Wait.
Galaxy Chromebook S with the 4K display. I'll tell you
So,
that.
George, you think tablets are bad? Why? Because
Because
Samsung's
of
always had
Samsung and
tablets.
because of Surface. I have the Surface Pro 8. I think it's awesome.
I don't know anybody who bought that besides you.
Well, it's
Gary-
it's expensive. It's very expensive.
Gary, you got a
Oh.
budget Pixelbook. Keep
I
quiet.
think
They don't
I
count.
think Google's problem with their tablets is they don't have apps, and they have apps, but they're not. They don't run good. But the Pixel Watch is just I don't know. I don't think it's gonna sell.
But you do know what they run?
iPhone.
You know what they run, Will? You know what they run?
Anything.
Instagram. What are you running on that iPad for Instagram, Will? How are you
For
doing
what?
that? Are you using a browser? How's that working out for
Oh,
you?
I don't use Instagram on my iPad. But
Because you can't.
yeah, but listen, Android tablets are dead, and the sooner Google realizes it, the better
Well,
off.
what
Android.
about the Samsung 7s that just released this year? I think they sold pretty good. That's my impression. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, most people are not going to buy the Surface 8 because it just costs a whole lot of money.
Yeah,
Let's
but
see,
they
tech-
all sell pretty good for the people who like really love Android. Why would you spend all that money? When you can
I
go
didn't buy an
base-
Android tablet. I
when you
bought a
can go-
Microsoft tablet.
when you
Just
can
a
go buy
very
a base-
expensive
Yeah,
Microsoft
base-
tablet.
What is a base iPad? $329. Why would I
$330,
get
yes.
Samsung $700-800?
Pixelbook.
That don't make sense. It doesn't
That
even
don't
make
make sense. Pixelbook does not have a 4K model. Gary.
I want to just circle back real fast. Talk about here's the talk. We were talking about how landscape is changing. I just discovered this. I'm going to say, I sent you this, George.
That's Android Central?
No, Android Bytes.
Oh, I don't
I
know
shared
that.
this with Will too. I shared that with you, George.
Who's
And
on
it
that
goes
one,
into-
Mike? Who's on that? Who's the host?
His name is Michelle, and I
One of them
know
you
I'm.
sent me had like a familiar voice from something else, and I was like, oh,
Yeah,
you
well,
went
that
to
was probably Android Police you listened to. I gave you two
So
to
who
listen
was
to.
that? Who was that? Didn't he
Who's-
leave Android Central?
Yeah, that was
That's
Daniel Bader.
that's what I was asking you. Who?
Yeah,
I knew there
Daniel
was one.
Bader and Aurora Wagner left. Okay.
So they
now-
left
And
to
they're
do their
both
own
working
thing
for
over there.
Android Police?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I didn't realize Daniel Bader
And I
was
don't know
there.
who else might have left, but let me tell you how bad it got for Android Central. They shut down their app. They had an app, and I would turn to the app once in a while when I needed
Wait, I
kill
still
some
have
time.
their app on my phone.
Oh, it's still there, but look how old the articles are, and they won't update. It won't refresh. Oops.
Oh, really?
Okay. And if you go to the Play Store and try and I learned this the hard way. I dumped it thinking it was a problem with the app and went back into Play Store to go try and find it. It's not there anymore. They killed the
Yeah,
app.
and you're right. The latest article I have is by Aurora Wagner. She's been going 3 weeks, something like
How
that.
many days old is that? 300 plus days?
3 months ago. Okay.
Yeah. So to answer your
No,
question,
I do have to admit, mostly when I'm looking at articles on my phone, I usually go to Android Authority.
Okay. But they offer the app, and I figured they have the app for Android Authority. The person that run one of the people, I don't know if you can see this guy here.
Michael,
guy
I
here-
can't see the last name. Rahman, Rahman. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the guy. That's one of the people on that one Android Bytes. I was
Okay. Oh, Android
telling you
Bytes.
about.
Oh, somebody.
This guy
Tinkerbell.
here. This guy here is
Tinkerbell.
great.
He had him on a few weeks ago, and I did subscribe to Android Bytes. I just haven't caught up to them on the podcast.
He
yet.
had that one podcast I shared with Will, and I don't know if Will did you. I guess you didn't listen to that.
Yeah, I did listen to it.
About
I
the
listened to
Android
both of them
Watch.
sent me.
About the
Yeah, but they
Android
were
Watch.
talking all about the watch. Yeah.
Yeah. How Google had their opportunity and was talk about being so restrictive. Makes the walled garden look like a garden. Am I right? Just judging by what they were
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Here, Mike. See, I have Android, but I subscribe to them. I just haven't had time to listen to them.
Now is that on your iPhone?
That's my
just like the guy in
Galaxy
the show,
S22
Mike.
Plus.
They were just like Android Wear started off good when they had the Google Now, and then they just did their own, like they just messed it up. Even with the Google feed now, like everything is just, I don't know, Google is a mess, man.
No, there's nothing wrong with the Google feed.
George, when Google Now
look,
started,
he says it's a mess. I say we play with a losing team. What can I say?
I mean, I look at my Google feed like every day. I don't find anything wrong with it.
George, you don't remember when it first came out and it was Google Now and they had the cards instead of just random articles?
I remember that.
It was better. Now it's just like
I think it's
like a Google
improved
search.
over the years. To me,
Mike, what would you rather? The Google
Did you guys
Now
hear about
feed
that, by the
had
way?
like relevant information, or now it's just like random.
Did you guys hear about that? Google Now is just coming.
relevant information every day.
Google Now is coming exclusively to Pixels. They're going to be a Pixel exclusive. What? The Google Now.
Really?
Yep.
Really?
Huh?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they did away with the Google Now.
I thought they did too.
Why are you worried, Mike? It's going to come there exclusively to Pixel for 2 months, and then Google will say everybody else can have it because we don't care about selling phones.
You can't say he's wrong. I mean, Google doesn't allow you to say he's wrong.
We don't care about selling phones. We just sell them so we can lose money. And write it off at the
end. If you watch the NBA playoffs, you're seeing Pixel commercials every night.
They don't care about selling phones, George. They just do it for fun, just so Mike can. So you guys can beta test them.
Yeah,
Clear the cache.
That Michelle fella that I was showing you there, he apparently broke down the coding for Android 13, the beta that just released, and all kinds of insight. It's really interesting.
Yeah, when I've listened to him, he gets into very heavy detail.
He gets into weeds. Yeah.
Yes.
So
it's him and another guy on that podcast.
Yeah, I got to go back and listen. I didn't get a chance to listen to all of it, but it's really good stuff they got there. I'm just getting back to real quick on how things have changed, and it just makes me wonder, how does this affect the community, the people who listen to it? Do you care? I don't know. It's just strange. And as I wrote in here, I really feel Michael Fisher and David Kogan are going to join forces because they both live in the same apartment complex, I believe.
Oh, okay.
They're always together doing something. Hayato was always around at the time, and then.
But Hayato lives somewhere. He lives in the Midwest, doesn't he?
No, he moved here to the East Coast. That's how he's working at MKBHD now.
Oh, that's right. He'd have to. Yeah, he'd have to be in. Yeah, because MKBHD's place is in Secaucus, New Jersey. That's true.
Yep. So it's interesting what's going on. Pocket Now isn't what it used to be. I feel. I mean, I like
Pocket
Joshua.
Now is just Jaime Rivera now. Period.
Is Joshua's what? Where did Joshua go?
Oh, that's where he went. He does the Pocket Now podcast.
Yeah, I thought he's still on there.
Yeah, but technically, I don't think Joshua has ever worked directly for Pocket Now, but there's some kind of contract where he led the podcast, and I guess he still does, but I don't think he works for them directly.
No, I thought he did.
To me, it's Jaime.
Reviews. Yeah, Jaime's the mainstay. Yeah. Hell, Jules. There's another one that was over at Pocket Now for a while.
Jules disappeared. There. Yeah, he was there a long time. He was there when Michael was there too.
Jules is over at Android Police.
Oh, he's there too. Okay.
Yeah.
So everybody's either going to MKBHD or Android Police, it sounds
right.
Like.
That's So I just find it interesting how things have changed. Listen, I want to kind of hit number 4, and as I said in the notes, I want to just take a nod to Android Central. And I like Daniel's thing, how he ended the show with what are your, in my case, I just want to say, what's your weekend plans?
And I did
what's
put it in the
happy?
show notes, and I said, what's making you happy? Borrowed from AC Podcast. That's what I put in there. Because that's how Daniel ended every show.
But for the record, Yeah, I need to clear the air.
Because since Joshua
Gary is
went
right.
solo. Okay, so yeah, so
I'm surprised to hear. Yeah, Google Pixel, the Pixelbook Go does have a 4K model, which apparently Gary does have. My apologies, sir.
i7. Okay.
And yeah, I think Google stole his Will's girlfriend too, and then forgot about her like Google's ways.
Okay, yeah, because Joshua has already always put out a lot of his own content on his own.
Joshua
know that.
went on his solo. Wow.
Joshua Vergara, yeah.
Huh.
Vergara.
He stopped that podcast that he did with what's her name, from the Philippines.
Well, that's his girlfriend.
The Technically Together podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
He said, "What's her name?"
I forgot her name too. With the pink hair.
What's her name?
Yeah.
Pretty girl, pink hair.
Yeah. So let's start with Ted real fast. So what's your weekend plans? What makes you happy?
Weekend plans for the next week or so. I gotta study for this exam, IT exam, CompTIA A+. Wish me luck.
You'll do well.
Luck, you got this.
You got it.
You'll be surprised. Just because you know a lot about consumer electronics doesn't mean you'll do well.
And some people are like, I'm one of those people. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm really good at taking exams. I'm just good at it. So you never know.
So, Will, what's the weekend plans and what makes you happy?
Yeah, come up with the one thing that let's say this week makes you happy.
Can you leave Apple out of the equation somehow, please?
So weekend plans. I gotta work, and my kids get their communion tomorrow, so I'm gonna be up for about 23 hours.
Oh wow. Okay. All right. Good.
Let's see. Lewis had a question. What is the most expensive device you own at the moment, guys?
Where's that question at, Lewis?
Tech for your needs. Time code 925. You guys.
For me, it's my Surface Pro 8.
The most expensive.
Most expensive device.
Yeah, my Surface Pro 8 is my thing I spent the most money on this year.
What is your device? Like a phone or phones, tablets,
for me,
computers?
it's a phone.
Oh.
Specify, or is it any electronics we have?
He said device. That's why I said Surface Pro 8.
I'm going with device because I haven't. This is probably the most expensive right now when I purchased it. So the Flip.
Yeah, my Surface Pro 8 cost me a lot of money, so that's easily took it. But the Fold 4 is coming out, so that might change.
Ted, what's your most expensive?
I think it's probably just this camera.
Okay. All right. Well, it's well worth it. I always talk about it. He is crispy. So, George, what's your plans for the weekend and what's making you happy?
Well, I know tomorrow I'm going to the Chattanooga Zoo for the very first time.
Okay. We're going to get some photos. We're going to get some video, maybe a little.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring 2 phones and do a video camera test.
Give those trees.
This was all Eleanor's idea, so.
Okay.
And I don't have to cut grass this weekend because I cut her front lawn last night, surprised her after work, and I cut her back lawn the day before. And what's making me happy, I'd say right now it's this Moto Edge Plus.
Okay.
Really?
It's making me pretty happy. Yeah, this is a pretty nice phone.
Yeah, I heard a review of somebody, somebody I never really heard of, but he didn't come out like a typical, this sucks, that's so good. He really liked it. He was really...
I like it a lot so far.
I don't know.
Now, when I did my comparison between that and what I do last week, Samsung, when you did, I did it with H22. When you did the zoom, there's something about the zoom on the Moto. As soon as you go past like zoom level 3, wow, it gets huge and distorted. Yep. But I think that has something to do with the what do you call it on the camera? The lens, because they put a special lens on there, and I think that's probably what I got to do more testing with it though. But I love this phone so far.
All right.
I've been using universal control between my Mac and the iPad. It's been sucking.
It's been sucking?
It's been sucking.
Well, we didn't ask you what's making you unhappy.
Yeah.
That's what's making me unhappy. It just works thing. It's not just working. The main problem is the keyboard. It doesn't. I don't know whether it's magic keyboard, but I can't caps lock stuff or whatever.
Oh
Okay.
my
So
God.
weird.
See, the keyboard that I love my Magic keyboard with my iPad, but the keyboard I also bought with the Surface Pro 8 because I guess they were made just for the keyboards are great on both of them. So.
So
But
I'll
Gary,
yeah.
Gary's I think that's what he calls his camera to take photos of his daughter's date.
Okay.
All right.
All right, Michael, you're going to tell us what's making you happy.
Was making me happy. Well, what's making me happy was knowing that today was coming. It's been a long time since I was juiced up to do a live stream, and my day went pretty good. You know, and you know, I'm looking forward to June. You coming up, and I've already got thoughts and plans. You know what subjects we might cover.
Okay.
And what I'm doing this weekend, the weather's breaking, so the wife was already saying we're gonna, we need to go like to Home Depot, get a new flag, and she wants the lawn cut, and what else?
You sound thrilled.
Doesn't he?
I'm like, I'm going to cut the lawn, and it's only like 3 blades are this tall, okay? And the rest of it's still dead. I don't get it, but whatever. It'll make her happy.
See, we're way ahead because we hit 82 today, and we've been doing that a lot.
Yeah, it's barely hitting 60 here. It got cold on us again.
George, stop bragging. It's terrible here.
So the other thing I want to do is, as always, I like to go down to Mom's and fix something of hers. For some reason, her Roku stopped working. I got to figure out what's up that. And then really, there's nothing strenuous this weekend. I mean, other than going cutting the lawn and whatever the chores.
Speaking of Mom,
yeah,
tell her if there's one I would love to sing with her.
Okay,
it's "Where Is the Love" by Roberta Flack.
Okay,
where is the love? That's the song.
George, you should. I got to figure a way. I got to grab his videos. They were doing a Motown medley with her choir.
That must be awesome.
Oh my goodness gracious, she is absolutely enjoying. If that choir went away, part of her life just died. I really.
You said Motown medley, in my mind just. I know you want to leave me, but I refuse to let you go.
Oh, I got to get on video on this one. You two singing, that's going to be good stuff. So with that, I'm going to just say thank you for everybody coming here. As always, I don't have a super chat, but support these guys who, if Will ever makes a drone video, whenever he gets around to it, he's going to be able to do that soon, by the way, because he's got time coming in his hands. Ted.
The weather.
Ted, do you hear me? Ted?
Yeah.
Are you going to make, I'm just asking, you're going to make content or anything, or, promote your channel?
You just don't have the time, is my impression.
Oh, yeah. He's going to school. That's fine.
Keep in mind, he's got a camera business
videos,
too, besides everything else.
Got a backlog of like 12 videos I've shot, though. So
I get you.
I stop putting them out. It'll be scheduled.
But I have the impression your photography business has been going well too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
More gigs.
That's cool. George is always making content, shooting videos and comparisons. As always, always support them. Share today's show. Replay crew. Tell people I don't know when I'm going to come back. It's just going to be one of those things. I'm going to see my week. And
Missy wants all 4 of us to sing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, no! Your dog is going to howl. Okay, because I'm going to be horrible. No,
it's easy for me. I was born being able to do that, so I can't take any credit for it.
Miss E, just stick with George and my mom singing, and I'll get the video and post that out.
And his mom can really sing. I can tell you that.
Yeah, I don't know where it came from, but I didn't get that part of the family. On that note, I'm Mike Dixon. This is my YouTube channel. I'm stuck with Joker Tech. I can't change it back to something else. But anyway, I'm going to eventually.
I don't know end of the road.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to if I can make content, you'll be everybody be first to know it. And on that note, everybody say good night, and I'm going to count down in 3, 2, 1.